All right, 4.6, 14 minutes. We'll arrive at 6:49 p.m. Someone snagged a Christmas tree. All right, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas will be performed at Casa Manana up until Christmas Eve. And Tuna Christmas right now is going on until the 17th. Written by Jason Williams and Joe Sears. Remember Petey Fisk. Aunt Pearl, we know about your bitter little pill. Strychnine laced biscuits rolled in enticing little dough balls. Coming from you from Petey Fisk and the Humane Society. Basically, Petey Fisk was written by Jason Williams. It was a character that was accusing Aunt Pearl of killing all the neighborhood dogs because she wanted to protect her chickens. All set in a fictional town in Texas, the third smallest town in Texas, known as Greater Tuna. Population 202. 202. They didn't get up to 1,000. 202 people. Not 200, but 202. Minus the judge. So really it was 201. Didn't think about that, did you? Or this one. Yes, that looks maybe correct. Nope. All right, so which way we're headed? We're headed west, so odds are on the left. Right. Heading west, odds are on the left. When you're headed west, your odds are on the left. Well, I would think it'd be the Jake Paul Tyson fight, but it looks like it's soccer. But I downloaded Sport Talk. It's an app. They are covering the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight on Sports Talk. Lot full here straight ahead. We're in the TCU area. Stadium Drive. Goodness gracious. Two soccer teams competing. Looks like female. And some people practicing. Rogue students, more than likely. People are just using the field for fun, probably on that one. Not just practicing or meeting a group, maybe, or something. Yeah, nothing major, but it is still a game. So it looks like they're lining up, getting ready. All right, 2.0 miles, 7:24 p.m. We'll arrive at 7:24. Okay, so anyway, I was up by Pascal High School. Forgot to press the button. Had a teacher named Bob Reed. Okay, we had a creative writing assignment where we always had to have a beginning, a middle, and end. Beginning, middle, and end. We did short stories for about 5 pages. Sometimes I turned them like 10 pages or 20 pages, stuff like that. I did this one story about my sister and I in the woods running around. It's like a 20-page thing, so I did more than enough. But it kind of trails off. It didn't have like a solid ending. So after I did the reading among these other people, and one of them being Josh Groon, who happened to be there, I said, well, I didn't have a strong conclusion because I'm going to turn this into a book one day. And then he ran off and told the teacher. And then Bob Reed got mad at me because he was the teacher and said, well, why didn't you have a conclusion? And then failed that particular story, even though I had other stories too. I said, well, I'm going to turn it into a book one day. So I just wrote the first part of that chapter or whatever. So it's going to continue. It's like, no, you can't do that. That's not the assignment. The assignments, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it can be up to 5 pages. It's fine. So he was pretty upset about that. But I understand what he means. Now, going back to Josh Groon. We also did a play called Rivers and Ravines. and Fort Worth Star Telegram was there. Well, I jumped up real quick and started acting with Emil V, even though I was playing a character called John Harper. Josh Gruen was playing a character called Wordy, which was the kid. So I jumped up there and I started kind of acting with him and stuff. They took a couple photos. They ended up using that. They ended up calling me Josh Gruen. So I'm not actually Josh Gruen. If you know that photo, that's actually me, Cole Spivey. But I did that because I was trained to like jump up there in front of the camera when you can. You're supposed to do that as an actor. If you see the camera, you jump up there. You just find a reason to do it. You get into the photo if you can. I always told that was a good thing. Okay, so those two stories I told, and then also Taylor Sheridan went to that school. He wrote Yellowstone and Sicario and Landman, which they just did with Billy Bob Thornton. He went to that school too. I don't think we knew him. I don't think so. I started off there as I think maybe end of a sophomore into a junior, and then ended up with a senior, and graduated. But just wanted to throw that story out. I just want to apologize to Josh Gruen too, because he should have been in that photo. Sorry about that. I know they go back and maybe like just kind of readjust it. They can't do it because it's already printed. And they put it in microfiche, but it's just getting in the newspaper. Fort Worth Star Telegram is not that big of a deal. I heard later on he became a producer of theater, produced Equus or something like that. I'm not for sure on that one. He was a pretty good writer, but yeah, we were all in the Bob Reed creative writing class, and then some of us in the John David Templin's theater arts group. He was the one that kind of discovered me. He's responsible for a lot of this, maybe. All right. Just wanted to clear that. All right, St. Paul. Anyway, sing spiritual songs, thankfully to the Lord. It's Colossians 3:6. It's St. Paul Lutheran Church and school. It's also a school. This is a West Broadway drop. It's kind of weird. And I'm like, where am I going? All right, this is a reroute. There's no 2818, but there is another one. 2.7, 738 is on arrival. It's going to take us about 11. All right, we're right in the shadow. Well, it's not really a shadow, but I'm just saying we're right behind Broadway Baptist Church. This is where Van Cliburn. That's gonna be a big vlog if we get to do it. I might wait till I get a little better technology. I finally found Broadway. This is the other West Broadway. If you don't get the right address, it'll take you to another Broadway way over there. But this is Broadway Baptist. It's Broadway Baptist Church, and Van Cliburn went there. I've been in there. I've been to a worship center in there. My drama teacher actually asked me to go there one time. He was there with a friend, and they were, listening to the sermon in the pews. True story. I went in there and listened to part of the sermon. I couldn't really understand all of it, though. I think it's right here. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's the right address. Willow Y. It's interesting. This whole thing about the Fort Worth Star Telegram and Josh Gruen and me jumping up there and getting in the photo media. What am I doing? I'm a YouTuber. Friend Rob writes this great play called Slow Dancers. We're in it. It just had a very good middle, or it had a very good beginning, middle, and end, and these characters were talking to each other from the past and all this stuff. It's a brilliant play for high school level. It was more college level, even professional. And he's a playwright, I never really saw myself as a YouTuber because I didn't have YouTubes. They didn't have any type of YouTube. They have television. But the character in Slow Dancers talks about writing for television. One of the ladies says, "Oh, you wrote for television?" And that got a laugh for some reason. Never understood that. But this must be what's talking about Daggett. That must have been Daggett. Let's look. Yep. That's Daggett. Right there. Okay. It's just a call. That thing opens. I didn't have to call, someone just came up behind me. Alright. Don't even know the floor. I gotta find this out with this guy. See if he can get around. Okay. There he goes. He actually, that's so funny. He actually had to get right about here. Oh boy. Maybe not. Oh, I see. He's going backwards, or she, or whoever. All right. You always have to kind of roll back down this way. It kind of reminds me of Licorice Pizza, you know, where she's backing up. Oh man, I don't know. This one's actually, I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say it's worse than Licorice Pizza, but Jesus love, because I got the wrong address. Kitchen's already calling. And I'm like, oh man, they're coming this way, they're going that way. Look at this. I'm just gonna go through here. I'm just gonna go like this. Let both people pass right here. Look at this. Let's reverse right here. It'd be cool if you could talk to your car, like I just did. Reverse, and it just starts reversing. I don't know if that would be good though, if you had a backseat driver. Yeah, you talk to your car about making certain turns or whatever, and the backseat driver's like, no, go left. The car starts going left. Wait a minute, can you go right? Can we reason? Can we reason with you? You know, like the cyber truck or something, you know. Let's talk about it. Okay, wait a minute. I object. I don't think left is right. Wait a minute, you're going right here. Look at this person. Stop. Boy, man, I would lose with Linda, let me tell you. So the abbreviation, I'm not going to get into the whole thing about Linda right now. We're in a weird kind of situation right now, but I'm just going to say it's abbreviated for Back to Linda and Kitty, probably for certain reasons. But it's also easier because an abbreviation, I can just put a little dash and then I can add more after that. Because really, to be honest now, even though I'm a YouTuber, I write every day, but it's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit. It's a little bit each day. And I remember when I studied masterpiece literature, there were some great writers that would just be accomplished if they got a simple sentence for that day when they were working on a great masterpiece, like a book or something. So even though it's very little, it's still writing. So, but I do plan in the future to maybe dedicate more of my life to writing. And possibly, I'm not going to say I'm going to try to make any type of profession out of it. I don't know if that was ever the start on any of it and why I did write these books and do all this stuff, which I did do, and I said I was going to do in the creative writing class, and I did do. I did write books and stuff. I did write stories, and I did dedicate my life to a lot of those things and risk my life, especially in Maine. But Stephen King, he just real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. He is so lucky to be discovered, and he's just now got a new movie done called Monkey. But he talks about how it's a blessing, that he actually gets to do it. And he has a little ranch he works on with this great Microsoft. So I don't know if it's Microsoft or not, but it's a lot of computer stuff that he uses to put these. He uses all these computers to put these stories together. He does a lot of surfing and stuff as he writes, which I think is cool because I do the same thing.
A bit of music by A.D.W.C.
Yeah, I wasn't able to sign in to the talk, the radio talk, sport talk, to cover the fight. So I'm sure by now it's either over, maybe Jake Paul. I'll check the Google if Jake Paul went one round with him. They've already gone at least, maybe the fight may be over. Usually a big fight, it only lasts for about 30 minutes. I'll check in real quick with Google and find out. 7:15 p.m., November 15th. Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson in Arlington, Texas at the A.D.W.C Stadium. We're going to see who won. They've already started. All right, Fort Worth, right here. If you go to Arlington, you can see Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson. I tuned in to YouTube's Wade Concept. They're covering it, but they're showing themselves as the reporters, and it doesn't look like they're fighting at all, but I guess they are. It's not showing the ring. I don't know exactly if they're inside or if they're like in a corner of the AT&T Stadium where they're broadcasting from, but they're doing a live chat. so you can watch it as it's happening at 7:57. They haven't said who won, but they did take a survey. 92% of the people said Mike Tyson won. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sure it's over by now. All right, 4.8. It'll take 15 minutes. We'll arrive at 8:19. All right. From watching the Wade concept, I think it looks like there's more than one fight going on. So it's like a series of fights, and then the main event is Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. He said something about Barrios and something named Barrios fighting or something. So I don't know if it's more than one fight. I don't know. I'm just listening to it. They're not showing the fight. They're just showing themselves respond to the fight. So they kind of talk like this. And I'm like, man, I don't know about sequences, man. Putting sequences on my boots like that, too shiny. I think it's just too shiny. I never went for the little shiny look or something like that. I never went for that kind of blazing, shiny, fancy look. I can't remember exact word concept of what he said, but or the words that he used, but something about looking too fancy, wearing the boots, like your boxing boots and stuff, and they talk like that. And then they talk about getting on horses and the horses bucking you off and having to get back on the horses because your dad's sitting there making you get back on the horse. You're like, I don't want to get on the horse. It already bucked me off. Well, it's going to hurt you, but you got to get back on it. And then he, talk about hurting his leg and the horse biting him. He said a horse can bite you because they used to break horses when these are the good Wade concept. That's how they talk about like that. So I don't know. You have to listen to it. All right, there's the palm reader. Maybe I can go in there and ask her, how's Abel Ramos going to do tonight in the fight? Yeah, Abel Ramos is one of the fighters, and the Wade concept is covering it. They're kind of a comedic group. Excuse me. This is Fire Station Park, skate park. Doesn't look like they're watching the Tyson fight either. It's amazing how many people aren't really watching it, because I go and I look on these people's television, say, hey, are they fighting? Nah, they're watching. They'll probably turn to it eventually, see who won or whatever. But they're watching other things, other movies like, Apple TV and things like that. I don't think I've come across one house where they're actually watching the fight yet. They are watching it in the kitchen though, so I might get to glance at it. All you gotta do is have Netflix on your phone. You sign up for it. I like the fact on Netflix you can go into any Walmart or whatever, or Best Buy, and you just buy that little card, that $25 card, watch Netflix for a couple of months. That's the best plan right there. They don't have to sit there and have it hit you, hit your ledger kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like that. See it this way. All right, looks like Abel Ramos dropped his opponent. He hit him pretty hard, so it's probably going to go to him. Yeah, he knocked him down. So it happened at about let's say about 8:28 p.m. on Friday, November 15th. Abel Ramos knocked down his opponent in the ring, and they're fighting right before the Jake Paul and Tyson fight. At this time right now, 8:29 on November 15th, Abel Ramos had beat the crap out of Mario Barrios, and Barrios is against the rope getting punished, and right a minute before then he knocked him down already. So it looks like it's going to go to Abel. Okay, so that Abel shot where he knocked him nearly out, or he knocked him on the ground, he knocked Mario down, Barrios, that is on the 6th round. It happened in the 6th round, around 8:28, and they took a major punishment. We're seeing who's winning the fight, and then we'll switch over to probably Jake Paul and Tyson. All right, I haven't found out if Abel won, but he's fighting Mario Barrios, and it looks like he knocked him down in the 6th round. And then they'll sum up that fight, and they'll move over to the main event, which will be Jake Paul and Tyson. Mike Iron Tyson, or Iron Mike Tyson. So I say Iron Mike, sorry. Iron Mike Tyson. Start with Iron, then you go into Mike, and then Tyson. Greatest fighter in the world, other than maybe Muhammad Ali. Some people say Mike is the best there ever was. So we'll find out. There's a lot of different opinions. He certainly wasn't the best sport, meaning because of his attitude. But hey, you know, they didn't care. He's a guy who go in the ring and tear him up. But you know, he has a bad boy. They're both bad boys. Tyson feels like Jake Paul's a manufactured killer as opposed to a natural born killer, which is what Tyson feels. I guess he is, at least in the ring. All right, next delivery is 2.9 miles, 11 minutes. Looks like we're going to be there at 8:59.